Hi, living in Boulder vlog, May 16th, 2020, Saturday, 11:44 a.m. Yesterday I was finished with the cropping of the country of the animals I have, cropping their habitat, and then cropping the animal around the person. And then today I got up and I wanted to see what size I wanted the icon to be on the website. So I tried, I looked at 40 pixels across, which is the size that I have stuff on the top. And it looked big enough for the top because you have to be a more you have to squeeze stuff in more. Space is more valuable on the top part, the horizontal timeline, because there's because it's more. That's the style of it. It's condensing more. And but I figured it was with 40 pixels across that was big enough to see detail. But on the vertical part of the timeline, I was going to make the images bigger because on the main timeline, like BC and AD, I have the font bigger for kingdoms, and are bigger on the vertical than horizontal. And so I tried for 40 pixels across that goes up, because the images are usually shaped like this. So 40 pixels up is bigger than 40 pixels across, and it looked a lot better than the 40 pixels across. I could see the detail good. With the 40 pixels across, it was strange to me, but 40 pixels up, I might even, actually, no, I won't, on the horizontal part, but, and I also, it happened to be on the birds, and the first of the birds, and I made it those PNG files where I deleted the background, and so all I saw was the bird and the person next to the bird, and that looked really good. I like it when there's no background and the background is the same as the color of the page. And it's the way that I made the all the images on the top with the planets, the tectonics, and also with the habitat of the animals. What I've been doing the last couple of days. And so yesterday all I did was crop the birds. So today what I'm going to do is get rid of the background, and that takes two. I didn't do it before because I wasn't so sure it worked, because I only saw it when I tried to put the other one on. I saw the background. And so I was like, all right, well, fuck it if they're not going to show the background. But then when I put this bird on my site, there was no background. So I do it in two sections. I do it with background eraser, where I just click and it gets everything from one color, but there's patches because there's the earth is right next to it. So I'm going to, I do it once with that, and then I do it with the brush, and I just brush over it, and it looks good. You can see the little discrepancies. I'm going to fix the planet too. It wasn't, there's lots of like little parts that I didn't get when I just did the background eraser, so I'm going to go over there in a brush on the planet. So that's two sweeps of 1930 images I have to do. But I think I'll use the planet also on the horizontal page. So I'll have a planet that's 40 pixels across on the top for the habitat, and then one that's 40 pixels up on the down part. And I might do that for the animals too, like put some of the animals on the top that are the smaller version. I don't know, but liked that 40 pixel up size. I wanted a perfect size that where you could see the detail of it without mousing over it. I'm not big into mousing because it's kind of anti speed reading. Like, you don't really have to see the detail. If you want to see the detail of it, just click on it and see the full size of it on Flickr. But if you just want to, see roughly how big it is and what it looks like, then you can just look at it, just at the icon without making it bigger. And a 40 pixel up icon is good. Is a good size, and it's not too big where it intrudes on the text. If you put it in the bottom, in the beginning, the text starts lower, but it's not that much lower. So I think when I put it on, I'll put the planet and then the person next to it. Just put them next to each other, and then they link to the same place, so that keeps the linking simple. Yeah, you might be like, why'd you spend all that time when you could have just done here's the original image. And in retrospect, maybe that's what I should have done. But the thing is, when you have the images of the animals, this cropped around the animal at the same size, that gives you a much better image of how big the animal is than when it's dependent on the earth being right next to it. Because you can see the color of the person and the color of the animal are different colors, and so you can see it really well, even though it's a small icon. When all the icons are the same size, you can see the size difference much more precisely. Yeah, another reason I was thinking twice about getting rid of the background for the sizes of the animals was because when I was clicking the background eraser, it would take parts of the animal away. But I learned a trick where you can, if you adjust where you click the background color to get away, it doesn't get all of the background from the animal away because there's just slight variations in the color. So you just choose something that's not too similar to the animal, and sometimes it'll get right around the animal and perfectly. Whereas if you're just a little bit higher up, where the colors are just slightly more similar to the animal, it'll screw everything up and it'll delete the animal. So I figured out a way, and plus adjusting the size of the brush to get precisely into the corners of the animals. It's really quick to adjust the size. You just click up and then click on it and then click what size you want and then do the brush. I don't think it was that quick before. Plus, just the general processing is much faster now. Oh, and more precise. Like when I had the brush and I click right next to the edge of something I wanted to get the color rid of, it got rid of it and it didn't have all this extra fuzz around it. So I think, yeah, they're much more precise than before. Last time I tried it. So I think it'll take a long time. It'll take probably all day today and all day tomorrow, at least all day tomorrow and all day today. But I think it's worth it because I love how it looks where the background doesn't exist on the website because it just blends in. Perfectly. Looks way better. And you can see, I think you can see the animal board more too, because there's less visual noise. When they have a solid state background like black or white, you have to look at the black and white as one big unit. But when it's separate, it's like they're standing there inside. Yeah, it's much better. So anyway, I have another problem though. On the page that I was doing it with, that bird was at 90 million years ago, and so I went to the 90 million years ago page, and it was too big on my browser because I copied the text off of Wikipedia, and when I pasted the text on, it made it too big. it's like corrupted text. So I copied it off, pasted it on to just the text, copied it off again, and then pasted it on so it was pure, but that still didn't do it. I saw in a lot of them, it wouldn't allow there to be and it was like this it was fine on Wikipedia, but on my website, it doesn't allow there to be a word and then another word after it. And if you try to backspace to go back and get rid of that break, where it gets to a new line, it just will gobble up the letter instead of getting rid of the line, the break. And it doesn't show up in the code. And copying it, cutting it off, pasting it onto a browser, onto just a text, like a search box, and copying it off and pasting it on doesn't do anything. It's just like it's got some worm in it or something. So the only way to fix it is by retyping. So I had to copy it on the bottom, manually retype a bunch of like formations, and then delete it off. And that was the only thing that made it smaller. And it looks like I'm gonna have to retype everything because it's still a little bit too big, but it's just a little bit too big, so I didn't bother to do it. But it looks fine on Wikipedia, on the Dreamweaver. Sometimes it's too big on Dreamweaver. And one weird thing that happened was when I would copy it off of Dreamweaver and then I'd paste it on text and then I'd copy it back on the Dreamweaver as pure text, then it would make the Dreamweaver too big when it wasn't before. So then I would have to write it. So yeah. That would be a total disaster if I had to rewrite everything. So just so that it would fit, and it fits on my phone fine now, and it fits on my browser, like when I hit test on Dreamweaver, on Safari and on Google, on Chrome, and Firefox, I think is what I tried it on. Worked fine on those, but then when I look at it on my website, it's too big. It doesn't fit. So I don't know why it doesn't fit on my website, because that's Safari, but it does, or on Firefox or Google Chrome. It doesn't work anywhere on the website, on any of the browsers, but it works on all the browsers when I test it on Dreamweaver. So, and I don't know what else to do, because must be because one of the words has to be retyped manually. So the only way to fix it, and then I don't know which one I would have to retype manually. Like I might have to retype each and every one individually manually instead of copy it and paste it just to make it fit. So what I'm going to do is just work on these, edit these images, and then try to fix all the pages to make them fit. And then if it doesn't, and then just hope that time will fix it, like it's some kind of glitch. And hopefully it'll magically fix itself by then. And if it doesn't, I guess I'll have to retype it. That'll take an insanely long time. But I haven't really edited it all yet, so maybe I could just edit it and retype it, edit it at the same time. And then from now on, just like not copy and paste, and whenever I do copy and paste, I'll have to copy it onto a text first and then copy it off. But I've never had this problem before where I just made it too big for no reason. So I hope it's not some kind of intentional thing. Sabotage. But luckily I don't have to worry about that yet because I'm working on the images. So I'm going to put these images together, but I can't see the results of it until I make everything fit. So whatever. I'm just going to do the images now. Yesterday I went to my mom's house 3 times. In the morning we went on a bike ride, and then I went back because I brought a pizza over. It was like $5 pizza Fridays. I want to do that every Friday now. Because she puts lots of other toppings on and salad. But then I went back there because I wanted to watch movies. She's got all the different, Hulu and Netflix and stuff. And like stars, and all I have is Amazon. There's not many movies, and I would just wanted to watch movies because I was kind of stressed about the problems I was having that I was talking about before, or the images. I was making mistakes with the images editing. And so yeah, I watched I watched the new Fast and Furious movie. I saw Once Upon a Time in L.A. I saw while I was working on my computer. And then I saw the beginning of John Wick. But there was Spectre. I called my mom and I wanted to go back there, but she didn't want me to go because she was too busy working on stuff. So didn't want to be distracted. But so yeah, I haven't really listened to anything educational. I've been listening to the Royal Tyrell YouTube channel. Last few days, I want to listen to each and every one of the lectures that they have. It's a paleontologist talking about their finds. It's really amazing. Paleontology is fascinating. Just translating the story of the dead animals from the ground. So I'm gonna get going on this image editing right now, and hopefully later on with the fitting, that'll magically work. Yeah, because I can't wait to see I'm gonna put, after I'm done editing these images, I'm gonna put all the images onto my website. Make sure that all those animals are on there, and I already wrote all the information on them. So all I have to do is, with the date that they lived. So all I have to do is copy paste, and then attach the image, and boom, that's it. It'll just be like, and then I get to see all the images there. And I didn't do it like that with my other timeline. So this might open up a can of worms with those timelines where I might have to put like images, little 40 icon images on those as well, just to make it the same. But I don't think so. I think I'll wait until they get the mouse over images working right with Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver has a feature where you can do mouse over images, just like with how Wikipedia works, where you mouse over somebody's name and it pops up big and there's a picture and then the text. Dreamweaver supposedly has that, but it just doesn't work. It's never worked. I tried it just a couple days ago, and so maybe one of these days in the future it'll work, and then that's when I'll do it. I'll put the little 40 icon image up there, and then you mouse over it and you'll see the big one. But it's not as important to put it on the main timeline, like you would do it with countries or famous people or whatever, because you don't really care so much about that stuff. You're supposed to already know what that stuff is, but you don't know what the animals look like or where their habitat is, so you do want to know that. So that's the difference. So yeah, I think I'll leave that alone, because if I do try to make that a plan, that's a can of worms. I'm already dealing with this. So yeah, I'm going to continue to edit these images now, which is, I'm enjoying myself, just looking at these animals next to the people. Then I'll do it with the planet. Yeah, and then they'll look good. And and maybe later on, when that mouse over feature works, I can do it with these big ones, where it mouse overs and you see the big, with the background not existing, and it just goes over the page, and that'll look pretty cool, I think, maybe. So anyways, that's enough talking. Talk to you tomorrow.